Knowledge work is evolving faster than companies can adapt. And because of it, every day, millions of workforce decisions and strategy are made with gut instinct and totally blind. And the result of it? Total chaos. And half billion lost because companies are just flying blind. I'm Estefania, a second-time founder, and I've lived this chaos. After my second startup didn't work out, I realized that a decade of experience in ops, finance, fundraising mean nothing to recruiters still stuck in job titles. And also, I feel like all this work that I have done before as a founder, it didn't mean anything out there. But later, I met Dylan, a lifelong builder who has been coding since he was 11. And he experienced the same problem, but from other perspective. He saw how engineers were panicking because AI were replacing them, because no one can see their true capabilities. And that's when it hit us. No, we were not only us, more people were experiencing the same problem. From people overlooked, for teams panicking because of uncertainty, everyone was experiencing the same thing, a lack of visibility on human potential. So we started talking with more than 200 people and ops leaders, and the statistics confirm it. Today, 50% of workforce decisions are still rely on gut instinct because the data is simply not there. And companies are losing millions every day in productivity because they are operating without visibility. And of course, AI is accelerating everything. Roles are changing every quarter, but companies still plan yearly. And companies are losing millions every year. And of course, this cost is increasing as AI is moving everything around them. And well, what is the main cause of it? Probably you feel identified with it, but this is how today workforce decision looks like. Thousands of tools, HRIS, CRMs, and of course, hundreds of spreadsheets, each one holding a different version of the truth about your team. And still, managers cannot ask reply simple questions about who's ready to grow, who's at risk of leaving, and who can do what. So this is not a management problem, this is a visibility problem. So what will happen if we connect all this data about performance, development, capacity into clarity? Clarity about who can do what, when, and where. Operational visibility, so companies and teams can perform at their best. That's Everday, or AI-native workforce operating system, that basically gives us insights about people data that make it finally transparent and explainable. And we have, of course, an execution copilot that transforms all those insights into real actions. Let's say that you ask your people team, hey, can you please help me to develop these AI skills for my team? And probably you already experienced this. It's usually 6 weeks of endless one-on-ones, performance review, polls. And after 6 weeks that you had answers, the project is already stocked. But making the same question to Everday in just a matter of seconds, you get a personalized development path for everyone in your company based on their true capabilities. Or let's say that your senior engineer is about to leave. That usually means chaos, hiring, budgeting, delays. But in 7 seconds, Everday analyze your entire workforce and give you top candidates based in your internal and your external talent pool. That's visibility, a smarter strategy, and time that you actually get back. And we're already live in 8 companies across gaming, insurance, and tech, high-regulated industries that we need to focus first, because if we can deliver clarity and security there, we can do it anywhere. And we're changing our models from subscription-based to outcome-based, starting in Europe and in partnership with forward-thinking COOs and CHROs. Because the world doesn't need another HR tool. It needs a layer that connects human potential with AI to prepare teams and company for the future of work. Thank you.
A great pitch, Estefania.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that everybody can relate to this. So super accurate. Yeah, a question. I think that this is kind of like a holy grail that people have been like over the years and decades have been thinking about like how to unify, but then in reality it's turned out to be just like daydreaming. So what's your secret sauce? How are you now the one who is capable of making this happen?
Well, something that it helps is that we collect actual data from work tools from employees. So we eliminate all the bias that usually comes from managers, usually comes from colleagues. So basically what we do in order to make this happen, because usually it tends to be a very manual process, all the partners that we're working with, they're like, oh my God, I have been trying to do this for months, for years in a spreadsheet, and it's just simply not moving forward because there's so many people that needs to be involved in order to bring this data that it usually gets stuck. So by us connecting to all these tools automatically, grab the data directly from there and just validated it with the managers that make it possible to have this clarity in this short amount of time.
How do you feel that the, I would say, selling climate has changed as well as we are moving more into an era where businesses tend to prioritize more business-first topics rather than people-first topics? Do you feel like that has had any sort of impact on your ability to sell into those organizations, or do you still think that those buyers are still going to be there?
Yeah, good question. I think that one of the most powerful pitch that we use in those cases is that you can use it for workforce planning. Because as companies are growing faster, of course, it's our all priorities to keep the team lean. But how we can do that? So our platform, it can also tell you, okay, if these are the goals for the company or these are the upcoming projects that you have, do you even need to hire people? And if so, these are the tag profiles that you need to bring into the company. Because one of the things that companies were struggling with is that as they grow, they start massively hiring people that at the end of the day, they need to say thank you. So what our solution helps is also giving clarity about workforce planning, which is something that you might need. For example, when you sign a company of 50 people, and it's a company that, of course, is not prioritizing growing or hiring more, but how to optimize the people that they already have with development, so they can adapt new skills, so they can grow inside. So that's the part that we're using in those cases.
Hi. The industry you're selling to is very used to per seat pricing. I like the idea that you're moving into an outcome-based pricing, but it's going to be very hard. So how will you actually measure the ROI you're delivering in order to enable that transition?
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, right now, one of the first customers that we're transitioning towards there, they tell us like, hey, you know what, I have 12 recruiters on my team analyzing all the CVs from all the candidates because they hire 1,500 positions every year. So their talent pool is 30,000 people in the RTS. So they were like, if you can optimize that, I need that my people can just focus on where they need human, like interview, like seeing if it's a good match for the culture, and you can optimize all that. That's where we are going to talk about outcome-based pricing, about how much time, resources, and even team members can support companies with.
Real quickly.
Yeah. How about the human part? So many employees don't necessarily appear in the tools that you mentioned, and there's a lot of human interaction of how they work and the famous coffee machine discussion. So how do you take those into account?
Well, we have one section inside our platform that is called Polls. That is basically that employees can talk with our AI. So, for example, if you finish an assignment, you can just go and say, like, hey, I just finished this assignment. These were like my priorities. This is how it went. So also, you still have the human touch. And of course, AI will make all these assumptions about skills and levels. But at the end of the day, there needs to be a human inside companies validated that in this case is the managers, because it's a human and AI collaboration, and we don't want to lose that. So that's the way that we keep also the employees involved in their own skills and in their own development.
Thanks a lot, Estefania.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You go from
Yes.
that side. Thank you.